Welcome back, everybody. I think I timed the recording right, so hopefully it's starting correctly. You can see me and Ken, and you can kind of see a screen off to the side. We're going to go to that screen. What we're going to do here is do a live mock draft. Why not, right? I mean, can't talk about football enough. Isn't that right, Ken?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were pretty hyped up after doing the corner review tonight, and I got to be honest, my wife gave me the go ahead to stay up a little late, so let's make this happen.
Perfect. Let's do it. Well, number one, I don't think we have much to talk about.
Yeah, I think we agree on who it is. We both talked recently about should they trade the pick, but we're going to talk about what we think teams should do. But the reality is that we're going to try to stick to what we think they're going to do, but kind of talk about what they should do. And it's pretty much bar down, got to be Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, easy. That's what's going to happen. Doesn't make you a draft genius to figure that one out. Yeah, I think it would be fun to gosh, who would they trade with? Maybe the Jets and then maybe trade down from there.
That's what we wrote up was like Trevor Lawrence is the can't miss. Do you come up? Um, but really, any team would be going. It's just a matter of who can give you the most. The Panthers,
Yeah, seven or eight, maybe even Detroit.
yeah. It's just the Jets have the most draft capital to give up if they were to
They do
do it.
have quite a bit of draft capital. Maybe other teams are throwing in players.
We love hypotheticals.
Yep, but
So
yes, Trevor Lawrence is the first pick.
I mean, we've talked about him. He can throw. He can lead a team. I'd like to see a little bit more moxie out of him. A little bit more personality and in pressure situations. Sometimes he's too calm for me. But at the end of the day, almost everybody, has him as their number one guy. Even though Zach Wilson's really catching my eye a lot lately, I've lost my distaste for him from some of the early write ups that people did. And I see a baller in Zach Wilson now, too.
Yeah, very good, but I think don't overthink it. Trevor Lawrence, turn in your card or trade the pick.
Yeah. So what are you going to
Don't
do
take
second?
15. Don't take 15 minutes, guys.
They will.
Uh, yeah, I know. Um, I think Zach Wilson goes number two. I think the Jets probably stay and take him. I
Uh,
think that we've actually both written and thought that the Jets team is such a mess that they're a team who could really, really use a trade back, getting multiple picks for probably the next 2 years before you try and bring in a quarterback. And maybe, I mean, give Darnold a shot. Darnold's not terrible quarterback. He's got nothing around him. But what I think they're going to do, take Zach Wilson.
and I'm gonna jump on the same notion here. I think if I'm the Jets, which I'm not, but I definitely trade back. And it's not even that I necessarily want to give Darnold a shot. It's that I want to give whoever I pick to take the reins a shot. And to do that, I want to give him a good supporting cast. So I would trade back. Let's say, for instance, if Atlanta really wanted Wilson to take over, maybe drop back to only four, or maybe drop back to 7 or 8 if Detroit wants to actually get somebody after Goff or the Panthers really want their guy. But I would trade back, but I don't think they will.
Yeah,
And
I think
when
you
we did
could
our
get a lot from the Panthers and are the most likely to trade up. You know, obviously, say first this year, first next year, second this year, second next year, I think is what you're looking at from the Panthers, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, or possibly a second and three firsts in a row. I'd rather get the seconds quicker, but I think the Jets will take Wilson. And as I alluded to you earlier, Wilson was kind of lower on my board, but I don't know why anymore. I went back and just kind of fell in love with the kid recently, and yeah, I think he's the second best, maybe like 1A second best. So they
Yeah.
got to take him. But
Yep.
this next pick, Jonah, this has my brain just twisted.
I
We
mean,
they've got to take a quarterback with everything they traded.
oh, they're absolutely taking a quarterback. There's no doubt about that. There's
But
very
I think we
little doubt.
disagree on who.
There's very little doubt in my mind that they're just going to take Justin Fields.
See, and I'm really big on Mac Jones. And to me, the question is does Shanahan want legs, or does he want a guy that can run a system like when he was in Atlanta? Matt Ryan was his guy, and Matt Ryan ran that system so well, right?
Yeah.
And
Now,
before that, who do you have in Washington? Cousins.
yeah, I was trying to.
And Mac Jones can make all those quick reads. He's super accurate. But Shanahan, man, what would he look like with legs on a quarterback?
I don't think he goes up to 3 if he's going for Mac Jones.
That's what everybody's saying, but Mac Jones is my third quarterback. So
But I think it's likely they take Justin Fields.
I think it's likely they could take any one of those other guys there, but I'm kind of impartial here. And if you want to go Fields, I'm okay with it. But if they take Jones, don't say Ken didn't say so.
I'll give it all to you, Ken. But I think, I think there were some other trades that could have been made with other teams or you wait till draft day, you kind of see how it shakes out a bit and make a deal to move up for Mac Jones.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the guys. I actually got in a heated debate the other day with one of the guys over at Bleacher Report. I don't know his real name. I just know his Instagram handle. But he's huge on Mac Jones and the Niners too. He's like, dude, I've got like 16 pages of quarterback coaches' notes saying Mac Jones can run their system better than any quarterback in this draft. And they also love him to the Patriots. So
anything's possible. You never know.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll go with the groupthink mentality on Justin Fields. Now we get to Atlanta. What's Atlanta going to do here? Well, so we talked about this a little bit actually before we went on the air, because I understand you thinking that they could trade back. And I understand where you're coming from, definitely. And I'm always a fan of trading back and getting more picks too. It's good. Well, it's why I like Rick Spielman. He always gets picks. I brought up that they literally have their choice of non-quarterback. So what's the player, besides 3 quarterbacks that are almost, whether it's Mac Jones or whether it's Justin Fields, almost certainly 3 quarterbacks going in the top 3 spots. They can spend this entire time saying, this is our guy. We know he's going to be there. And I think the value of that is tough to trade out of, though they have a few needs.
I like them trading back just not only because they have a few needs, but when we look at the top of the draft, the guys that are available to me are tackles and receivers. And I think Atlanta still has some ability to win some games. Yeah, they had a really bad year. They've played pretty poorly. But they've still got a pretty good core of players at a lot of the important positions, in my opinion. And a healthy Julio and Ryan obviously getting paid, $66 million combined, like guaranteed. They can't move on, or else it just cripples them financially. That you've got to go in and try to give them something to work with at this point. And adding one of the top receivers or a top tackle are not their team needs right now.
What about Pitts?
To me, Pitts is like, if they take Pitts, he's the replacement for Julio. He's a bigger receiver than he is a tight end. And I don't think Hurst is a bad tight end. Don't get me wrong, Pitts is a playmaker. He's 100% a playmaker. But I don't see how he makes their team better at all right now. So if they decide to go, well, that's a lie. I take that back. I don't see how he makes them more competitive with all the holes they still have.
Yeah, I mean, their defense, their needs are on defense.
So
I guess the question is, do they take a Pitts or their top receiver as a nice, or even Sewell as gosh, let's keep Matt Ryan upright, guys.
Yeah. Well, one of my worries is that you take a guy like Pitts, and then Matt Ryan plays Matt Ryan football, puts some good numbers. Julio's healthy. The defense takes a small step forward, and all of a sudden you're in middle of the range, just missing the playoffs team next year. And now you go into the following year where you can actually start looking at drafting a quarterback of the future, but you're picking at number 15 or 16, not number 4. So for me, I'd like to build the defense and then add a quarterback later on, but not, give them a little more to work with at the time on the other side of the ball. But it sounds like I think you're here in Atlanta not trading back.
Well,
And there's no guarantees they will. I mean, right now, if we look at the board, the only two people I think would trade up with them would maybe be Carolina if they really want to call Bridgewater done. And then if we go even further down the board, is the next team that trades up? I mean, is it New England?
I think I think people are thinking Denver, though I personally don't think they're going to take another quarterback early. But other people do, which is it possible? Sure. I just don't think it's very likely. I think it's Carolina, almost exclusively Carolina, trading up for Fields, having him sit while Bridgewater goes another year.
Well, and we gave Fields to the Niners, so I guess maybe Atlanta just sticks with 4.
Not
Jones,
Fields, Lance.
Jones or Lance?
No, Lance. Yeah, gosh, I said Fields. Yeah, Trey Lance. Sorry, because I think he's the kind of guy where you've got your veteran quarterback. He's going to play fine. Teddy's going to play fine for a year.
Well, then let's do this. Let's agree. I say Atlanta keeps the pick then. Okay. Because I'm not huge on Trey Lance to Carolina. So Atlanta keeps the pick, and I think we both are probably in agreement that we both kind of think Kyle Pitts is the best player available.
I'd probably take Sewell, but do I think they will? No. So, yeah, let's give them Pitts, and they just try and become this
really easy
explosive offense. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people are mocking a receiver to the Bengals or Pitts. I don't see it. Their receivers were good last year. They're not hurting for weapons. They've got
not at all
weapons.
Not at all.
I don't. There's no way they can pass on, Sewell if he's there.
Yeah, I mean, this is to me. Okay, like you said, some people are mocking wide receiver there, and a lot of that hype is because Joe Burrow is giving Jamar Chase, just rave reviews. But here's the deal: your star quarterback just tore an ACL. You were putting everything you have into building your franchise around him. I don't care how many receivers you give him; he cannot throw to them from a hospital bed.
Yeah, but he's also got good young receivers.
Oh, not only does he have Boyd and Higgins, I love Tate. Tate was buried on a depth chart behind Ross and Green even, but I mean they've got even that Michael Thomas comes in and catches everything thrown to him.
Yeah. So
and if this to me, this franchise, if they draft a receiver because Burrow wants him, has told me that they have given the entire keys to their franchise for the next 15 to 20 years to a 21-year-old quarterback and said, you get to pick everybody you want. He's a good player, but they're saying you get to build your team the way you want it.
He's not a GM.
Yeah, and
he should want Sewell,
Oh,
Sewell.
yeah.
Sorry, I think I say it wrong sometimes.
And he's my number one tackle too. Maybe a team has Slater a little higher, but I don't. I don't think you do either.
No, I don't think it's it. I think Sewell is the clear number one offensive tackle.
If he didn't sit out this year, I think we'd be talking about him as number 2 pick, even over the quarterbacks.
Ooh, maybe, but yep, who knows? And so now we get to the Dolphins, who have been moving all over the place. And you assume they're going to probably sit at 6 now that they've settled there. They clearly wanted to, in my opinion, be in a position where worst case scenario, there's still 1 or 2 weapons available, whether it's, Pitts, whether it's a receiver. Worst case scenario, they've got 1 or 2 weapons that they are happy with that they can draft at this position.
Yeah, I mean, I can do nothing besides say kudos, hats off, back pats, clap for the staff there in Miami right now. I think they just pulled a steal of a deal. They're still going to get who they wanted, in my opinion, but they added a couple draft picks, another first rounder, a third rounder, and a fifth rounder. You guys just won draft day. For me, the Hollywood thing to do would be go out and add Devonta Smith for Tua to throw to because they played together. But I really think Jamar Chase is the guy for them.
Yeah, I mean, or Waddle again.
Yeah, I think Chase is their guy.
Yeah. I get it. I just meant for Tua, 2 Alabama receivers.
Oh, I got you. I was slow.
That's all right.
But
I think Chase is a likely pick, but
and I think they would have taken him at 3, to be honest.
I think they probably would have maybe Pitts. I think that would have been their only other thought is maybe taking Pitts if he was there.
Yeah, and I like I said, I applaud them not only for their trading back and trading back up, but a lot of people thought they were going to throw in the towel on Tua, and I'm not on the Tua train. But at least they're doing what they can to give them what they need. Last year, they really built up that line. Some people say they're going to take a tackle possibly, but they have 2 tackles on each side of the line that were drafted just last year.
If Sewell's there, maybe, and I get that, but I think Sewell's so good. If he somehow falls to 6, I think you have to think about that, just talent wise.
Yeah, but we got rid of him.
Yeah, exactly. But just, I mean, the draft day. Look, everyone's wrong about 60% of the picks, so I'm just saying it could happen. Number 7, I still like, and it's kind of funny that he's on top of the rankings here, but I like Micah Parsons to the Lions because of Mr. Spielman, Mr. Spielman's brother, Mr. Spielman, a former linebacker who's going to want to beef up the middle of that defense because, hey, that's what I did. That's just my personal feeling and thought. And he's a hell of a player, Micah Parsons. But, I mean, what isn't a need for Detroit? So throw out any name. And yeah, I could see them taking him because they need help at that position.
I think that I would counter with that I want to talk about what I think they should do here.
Get 100 more draft picks because they need to fill an entire starting roster on both sides. That being
said, I think Micah Parsons is the best linebacker prospect we've seen in a long time. And it's not very often you see a linebacker go in the top 10, unless they're, a star outside rusher in a 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, he could be the catalyst of a defense. He could be a Patrick Willis, Luke Kuechly type guy. And when I look at their team and their needs, he fits one. Their linebackers have been atrocious.
I mean,
Collins is there. He's a veteran. But I actually like Parsons in Detroit here because the other thing that I think they really, really, really need to add is a wide receiver. But this is a really deep receiver class.
And
I think they can still get another wideout.
They absolutely can.
They can't get another Micah Parsons.
I'm not as high as wide receiver being a need for them as, again, most people are, and you are apparently too. I think, they've got some guys that are, I think wide receiver might be one of their best positions now.
I don't know what you're on, but I want some of it.
What other position groups in Detroit are good?
I don't think many position groups there are good. However, I like their defensive ends.
In terms of need, I feel like that, but
I like Mike
Let's
Parsons.
Go with Mike.
They can't get a Micah Parsons caliber linebacker in the second round. He is hands down. He's this much better than all the competition.
The Spielmans are celebrating. Well, one of them is right now because he's got Micah Parsons, linebacker. He's not the GM, but he's important in the front office, and they need some help. So now we get to Carolina with somehow not another quarterback going off the board, which, I mean, good for, man, if you're a Carolina fan, this really your best case scenario. You still have your choice at number 4 quarterback.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you're getting the 3.
I think with all the talk going on, everybody thinks they're going quarterback. I think that we need to mock them one. If I'm in charge of their team, I'm not taking one. And I know a lot of people hate me for that, but I think they have a couple other really great players here.
I said that Teddy's good. He's a good, not great quarterback. So, I don't know. That's a better position than some teams are in.
Yeah, one of the things I keep hearing him say is that the Panthers staff had said last year that, if they had lost a lot of games by a touchdown or less, and if they had a guy that could go up and just get them that one extra touchdown, they could win. But the reality of it is, if you had a defense that could stop one more touchdown, you could win too. And that defense is young. It is young, and it is putting some really good players in place. And if they continue to build that defense could be one of the defenses in the league that wins the game. I mean, you're looking to me, I see a star tackle in Brown, a star end in Burns, Jeremy Chin as a playmaker. They've got some young talent, and they can continue to bolster that. And then Bridgewater can just continue to find the Moores and the Andersons and the McCaffreys. And let's not forget, McCaffrey didn't play. And Davis did a good job, but McCaffrey's a step up, and he could be the difference between a touchdown a game.
A healthy McCaffrey is probably the best back in the league. And that's coming from a Vikings fan who loves his Dalvin Cook. But a healthy McCaffrey with everything he can do is going to be your best back in the league.
You're running the screen there, Micah, not Micah, sorry. I just looked at Micah Parsons' name. Jonah, can you go back to all positions and scroll down?
Sure can. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we've got 2 stud receivers. Is that really... I mean, could they use another star there? Sure.
We talked about Surtain a little bit earlier, but the one guy that I think, if I'm their GM and I'm not trading back, what about Adam Slater?
Slater's pretty darn good. I mean, you always need an offensive line and left tackle if you need him there to protect. But
I think they go quarterback.
I don't see how they pass on a quarterback if this happens. Even if it doesn't, I think they might take either Trey Lance or Mac Jones if one of them is left to them.
I agree they go quarterback, but I wanted us to go through the points of like this is. I really think Slater's a great fit there to give Teddy some protection or whoever it becomes in the future. He becomes a solid left tackle where they don't have that right now. They do not have a bookend on the left side that's going to be there, and continue to bolster that defense.
So now you like Mac Jones better than Trey Lance?
Yeah, I do. But Trey Lance, I think, is better in their system.
I think that so too, and I think the development that time again.
A year on the bench with Bridgewater starting 100% agreed.
It's easy, and then hey, if things go bad, then you've got another high pick to get a franchise tackle, a franchise pass rusher, whoever next year. Yeah, so I think the Panthers could be, an 8-8, 9-7 team. With a healthy Christian McCaffrey, but
I'm like on the lowdown collecting a lot of autographed rookie cards from all their guys and just going to sit on them for a decade.
There you go. Man, these receivers are just sitting here yelling at us. Is there any way Denver takes a receiver?
No.
I really don't think so either. I think it's got to be tackle or corner.
And, man, I don't think it's a wide receiver at all. I mean, they've got a deep receiver class already, including tight ends. Corner, we talked about how it was a major need before they signed all these guys.
Yeah, though I still think they could use a little help and some youth there, but with the signings, you're probably right.
I really like Michael Parsons to them, too. Let me ask you this, Jonah. Von Miller is on his last year's deal. He's in his 30s. Do they take the best edge rusher in the draft
at 9
to replace him?
I don't think you do, because who is the best edge rusher in the draft?
I know who my favorite is, but I don't know who it really is this year. There's not a hands down above.
And I think that's the problem. And I kind of talked about this just in our last cornerback video, which why am I talking about edge rushers in a cornerback video? But I think there's 4 or 5 guys that are high on potential, but aren't a sure thing, and they're going to be available late first to early, maybe even mid-second. So I don't see taking, even if you have to really love a guy to go with him here at 9, when you can take a guy that there's not a ton of difference. I mean, we'll all have our favorites, obviously, but is there, I don't see that big of a difference.
Yeah, I feel pressure just thinking about this decision, and I'm not the GM for the Broncos. So I guess the next 3 weeks will tell us a lot, but they might take Mac Jones here. Depends on, where do they feel about him.
Yeah, that's possible.
If they take a tackle, to me, it's got to be Darius or Slater. But Bulls played lights out last year, and whoever they take is playing right tackle. Are you drafting a right tackle in number 9?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Well, then let's give them Slater.
Let's give him Slater. Dallas.
This has got to be a corner now.
Yep.
In my
So,
opinion.
Surtain?
Yeah, I think Surtain is Jerry Jones's guy, and we always talk about the Jerry Jones move. Like in our first draft, Pitts was still left,
Yeah,
and they're like, "I gotta take him because it's Jerry Jones."
Yeah.
But I think Surtain fits the mold there for sure.
Yeah, I think if Jerry Jones gets his choice of cornerbacks, he'll be very happy, and I think Surtain's the likely pick there. Though I guess they could go Farley, but more than likely.
Now I'm gonna proposition you here.
All right.
The the Giants are on the board, and I think they're a little upset they just missed out on Slater.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Darisaw is gonna go. I don't think they're gonna be as high on Darisaw. I just don't. Watching the film, Darisaw's a great blocker at the line, but I don't see him get to the second level a lot. I don't see that tenacity in him I like. And I think the Giants, with a healthy Barkley, are going to want to establish him a little bit. And what if the Giants were to trade back just 2 spots with the Chargers and the Chargers came up for a tackle to protect Herbert's blind?
It could, or now here's what it has to be, because so they have to obviously, and this is what teams do. So they're on with the Chargers, and the Chargers say, we're going to take Darisaw. And so they say, okay, because in my opinion, I think they're going with either Waddle or Smith. Well, as the Giants GM, you're going to assume, okay, Philly's taking one of those guys. Philly needs receivers. So they're going to take one of them. And we end up with the other. Is that what you're thinking?
If more so for me, it's that I think the Chargers they already have their guy at quarterback.
Well, yes.
And they want to protect him. And they're saying the tackle right here is Darisaw. Like for me, Darisaw is the obvious third tackle. He's the only guy that I think can guaranteed play left tackle outside of these guys. Like some of the other guys might have to kick to right. And they're saying we need him, and they're calling the Giants saying, what's it going to take to get it? And then the Giants are saying, okay, we'll take the whatever's there. Now, yeah, they can get either as wideouts, but after the Galladay edition, they aren't hurting for a wideout as bad as they were, and they quietly added John Ross, who hasn't performed yet. But I mean, now their receivers, they got a pretty deep receiver core. There was Slayton, Shepard, Ross, and Kenny Galladay, and Evan Ingram at tight end.
But you got to look at somewhat value too, that we've got 2 superstar receivers sitting there.
Yeah, but in this case, one of them will still be there.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I mean.
So, but I still don't like one of them to the Giants this year.
Well, I guess I'll tell you what. I mean, I've 2 spots, second rounder.
Yeah, I don't have my site pulled up for the trade values, but
I don't either. I just kind of, I'll be honest, go off a field, go off of what happens.
But in the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the trade value is. It's what the Chargers are willing to, the Giants and Chargers are willing to work out.
True. So sure, let's just call it a second rounder, but who knows? But it doesn't matter. We'll do a little trade here.
And for me, this is, like I said, this is 100% just about the Chargers saying we need to protect our guy.
Yeah, probably a good move for the reigning offensive rookie of the year, even though Jefferson should have won it, but still, by far the best. He broke Randy Moss's records.
Yeah. What I think this is here, though, John, I want to go back and just point out is like the Chargers saying you have to pay me a lot because I think or the Giants are saying you have to pay me a lot, and that's why they get a second. Because I think the Giants would have maybe taken Darisaw too. They still need another tackle. I mean, they drafted Andrew Thomas last year, and he had a rough year. But they could take Darisaw and kick him over, or start Darisaw on the right side, and now you have 2 great tackles, young tackles to run that line. So I think the Giants and Chargers were both in that need area, and the Chargers wanted him.
Yeah. All right, so Philly, which receiver?
Pick your
'Cause,
poison.
I mean, who
I love Devonta.
does
Waddle is
one fit
electric.
better than the other? You know,
Well, if they draft Jalen, you have Jalen Hurts throwing to Jalen Waddle and Jalen Reagor, and
ooh,
that's a marketing scheme in itself.
the Jalen's. We're in. I'm a marketing major.
I didn't almost spit my drink out of my nose.
So the Giants again.
So they're in a power position making that trade. They can still add Devonta Smith. They could add another good corner.
Yeah, that's the
They
thing.
don't really have that need there anymore. They just signed Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the Giants are weird because it feels like they have needs everywhere.
If we sit down and really look at the Giants roster, Jonah, we've got a young quarterback that they like. They seem to be up on. One of the most talented running backs we've seen in a long time. They've got depth at wide receiver, even though you're saying they need to add to it. Like they have Galladay, like I said, Shepard. They have John Ross for depth as a speed piece. They have Darius Slayton, who's not bad.
I don't see Ross really contributing though.
He
I
just
mean,
stretches the field, and a field stretcher can help your other guys. Keeps your safeties deep.
but did he?
Well,
Has
he never played. It's just if he's healthy. But even then, I mean, if you draft Devonta Smith, he's really good. But you've got to kick another good guy off the field, even
Yeah,
not
but
counting Ross.
how long are those good guys' contracts for? What are they counting against the cap?
Well, Shepard and Slayton are both on rookie deals.
Can they
And
re-sign them both?
I
Or
like
do you
Slayton
need to
more,
look
honestly.
at a receiver to replace one of them because one's going to be gone in a year or two?
For me, this is either Devonta or now we do see an edge rusher go because they have no edge rushers. They have a killer defensive line.
Man, they do. I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind doing the Ken thing and having them trade back again.
I'm 100% okay with that because I think they should. And you know how I am.
But
If I was a GM, I'd trade back 5 times in the first round.
but who is willing to move up for a quarterback?
Um,
Washington or Chicago?
New England, Washington, or Chicago. There's a lot of talk
Well,
about the Patriots and Mac.
what I think would happen is someone would do this in
Want to
order
get
to
ahead
get
of them.
ahead of New England to make this deal and say we're gonna jump New England.
I really like Chicago and Washington to trade up for Mac.
God, Chicago. You know what? Based
Dalton's
on
only on a 1-year deal, and
based on
Washington
history,
has fits.
it's Chicago.
They like to
And
trade
let me
up.
tell you why. No, they like to sign a big free agent, and then they also like to trade up and draft that same position. That's what they love to do. They've done it. They did it with Trubisky and God, who was their big quarterback free agent signing? Was it Foles?
They got him recently.
The same year,
Not
though.
the same year, though.
It's not like
No.
Trubisky's old.
They
He's
went
been
and
in the
signed.
league for
They
2 years.
signed Chase
3
Daniel,
years.
if I remember right, to a big
that wasn't
backup
it.
contract.
Maybe that was it.
But they gave him like $7.5 million a year to back up.
But then this past year they did it with tight end. They paid Jimmy Graham a bunch of money,
And
then yeah, so they just love to do it. It's the Chicago way. Which,
I think the Giants are winning right now. I think the Giants are doing good in our mock draft.
so. Let's see. This is 7 picks, and it's for a quarterback.
I think they're going to get a first rounder next year, and number 76 this year because that's the 3rd round pick. Well, the Giants wouldn't give up a first. Hold on. Oh no, you did it right.
Yeah, so the Giants are giving up
I was
the
looking
13
at the
for
Giants.
the 20, and then
And
a
then the
first next
83rd.
year. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I was looking at the wrong team. I apologize.
It doesn't PFF. Yeah, there we go.
Well,
So now, Chicago ends up with Mac.
Yep. And I like that. I like that a lot.
You never know. A lot of surprises every year. Now here we have my team.
I'm hands off.
Who I know pretty darn well. And I'm going to tell you, I think it's likely that they actually trade down. Number one, Rick Spielman. Rick loves trading. They don't have a second rounder this year, and I don't think Rick Spielman likes that whatsoever. So I am trying to think of a team that might want to come up and get Devonta. The Raiders, because they're the Raiders, jump out. Who'd we get to the Dolphins earlier?
Chase.
Oh, okay.
So
they're
let me
fine.
ask you this, Mr. Minnesota.
Washington, yeah.
Devonta Smith, for me, he's my number one wideout this year. Minnesota has Justin Jefferson, who, like you said, was pretty close to being the rookie of the year. And Adam Thielen's what, 32, 33 now?
I think he might be 30. I don't think he's quite that old.
And there was even trade talk around him this year.
I mean,
rumors come from somewhere.
Yeah.
What if they took Smith and put Smith and Jefferson side by side?
Look, that sounds great and sounds like fun to watch until Kirk Cousins has 2 seconds to make a decision which one of his wide receivers to throw it to every time. Their offensive line still sucks. They made a bunch of great defensive signings this offseason and filled a lot of holes that absolutely needed to be filled.
That's the only other spot I could see them going, but I don't know that there's a tackle available here.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What about Elijah Vera Tucker?
I think that's possible, but I also think, does Washington trade up and take Devonta?
I don't think so.
And Rick gets his second rounder, because Rick wants more picks.
I don't see Washington trading up for a wideout. Not after the Samuel signing. They have 2 young stars right now.
Your Colts want to trade up?
No, not at all.
Oh. Oh, the Titans.
I like Devonta Smith, but Chris Ballard's not trading up unless he's getting, just some luxury.
Oh, the Titans.
Does he fit what the Titans do? Do they want that smaller undersized? Do they want a guy that can block?
I mean, they need a guy in the slot. Well,
he's a phenomenal receiver.
The Titans aren't. They're not all about blocking.
No, they're not. But they like it when you can do both.
And, well, sure. And the games when A.J. Brown gets shut down are the games they lose. Which, guess what teams did second half of the year? Just put everyone on A.J. Brown because who else is going to catch the ball? Corey Davis for 6 catches for 60 yards. It's good, but it's not going to win you a game.
We're trading up to what? Number 14?
Ooh, yeah. But
what about the Jets?
The Jets?
It doesn't show wide receiver, but they've got a need.
The Jets suck. They have needs everywhere.
Oh, I know.
Who's
but
their
you'd
number
be giving
one?
Devonta Smith and Trevor Lawrence. They have Denzel Mims, Corey Davis. They just signed from the Titans, and Jamison Crowder. But Crowder's not going to be there.
Old and not that great.
Yeah, you're going to move on from him.
So there's 2 strikes against him.
So he's not in their long-term future plans. But Devonta Smith would be a future star alongside Zach Wilson to throw. Like Zach Wilson has somebody to throw to.
The Jets do like to make that splash. They're in New York. You got to make splash. So maybe what? Like the 23-34?
I wouldn't even trade 34. I'd say they give up Seattle's first rounder next year.
I think Minnesota
like 66 in around 5. Well, 66 is basically a second rounder.
It's basically second round, true.
And then they're probably getting like a round 5 next year too, maybe.
Next or this year.
Either one. You can go either one.
I'll tell you what. Vikings lost a 7th rounder, so Rick wants another late rounder this year.
Well, and you know your Vikings way better than I do. I mean, we all have that one team that we kind of stick to. You didn't have to force that one, did you?
I did not, no. Because that was good value. which is why I thought they could potentially get the 33 pick. But
And I actually really like this. I didn't expect us doing this when we started this draft, but the
no,
Jets
we have
trading
no
back up
plans.
for Devonta. Them
We
trading
have no
back up for
plans.
Devonta gives them an excite. Like their fan base at least should be super excited. They should be selling some tickets.
It's New York.
And
They got
and Wilson should be happy.
Now, number one, the Patriots always will trade back. So they're always a candidate.
Let's scroll down just a little bit. My favorite player for them is ranked number 25, Azeez Ojulari.
I could see them taking him. I could also see them taking Greg Newsome the second, because they will take someone who is ranked behind every. No, they'll just take someone at a position that's ranked behind everyone else, and then watch them wash out of the league in 3 or 4 years while the people that were ranked ahead of them play well. Antoine Winfield Jr. Anyone?
Yeah, I like. Oh, as in Duggar.
I think
they took Duggar over him last year.
Oh yeah, he's a garbage GM. So genius coach. Terrible GM.
I think edge is a big deal for them. Last year they took Josh Uche out of Michigan, and he is a will linebacker in a 4-3 to me, and they're trying to set the edge with him in a 3-4, and it doesn't work. They paid Matthew Judon. They have Kyle Vanoy back, but Kyle Vanoy's getting up there. Ojulari could give him an actual edge presence, but I don't know that you got to take him at number 15. And New England is pretty infamous for trading back.
But they also don't care at taking someone 20 spots ahead of where they think, they're projected to go.
They're also really good about trading back, though. And then still taking guys
that
are wrong fit.
Who's someone going to trade up for?
That's what I'm looking to see.
Is your first question.
Here.
Who has a big cornerback
anybody's
need?
Jumping. I don't think anybody jumps here.
I don't think the
Tennessee
Titans go up. I don't think they go up for a corner.
Yeah, I think New England's stuck in their spot, and they got to take the best player on their board.
New Orleans.
That's too big of a jump for the Saints.
New Orleans has a lot of needs. Yeah, I mean they're giving up a lot.
This pick.
Yeah, let's give him Ojulari, a good stand-up edge rusher in a 3-4.
Let me ask you this, because we are looking at this thing here. I think Ojulari is good, but I think you can get him later. Kwity Paye is still there. I like him more as a 4-3 end. But Barmore's up there. And New England's pretty infamous for having a tackle. I mean, you go back. Maybe they take Barmore. He's not my favorite tackle, but
he is mine, but I just still think they take someone. It has to be an off-the-wall pick.
Just to fit the bill for them. Yeah, I
literally
like
what they've done for a decade.
I like him in the 3-4 more than Kwity Paye.
Ojulari.
Yeah. Another guy I like is Rousseau, but I don't think he fits the Patriots bill.
Now this one, I think we all agree.
Yeah, I think you heard me talk about this pretty heavy earlier.
Makes sense to me. That's why I was saying if someone could trade up and try and get Farley, to keep him from the Cards was my only thought. But there you go. Farley to the Cards. Everything works out. Good job, Arizona.
And Arizona, that was a killer pick for them.
I mean,
I applaud you, Jonah, GM of the Cardinals.
Fills a need. Good player. What else do you want? Now, Oakland.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about Oakland right now. What they've done in free agency has me, or not just free agency, what they've done the last few weeks has me baffled.
I did think that there was no way but I think they want an edge too. Because I was going to go tackle. Oh, they do have a lot of needs.
They just traded away their whole line.
I know.
Like they traded away their center, their right guard, and their right tackle.
I mean, taking one of the freak athlete edge rushers. screams Oakland, and they do. Their rush sucked.
They brought in Yannick Ngakoue to go along with Max Crosby and Cleveland Farrell. So now they kind of have a little depth there, actually, where Farrell hasn't lived up to his draft status at all. But Crosby sure has, and then some. And Yannick Ngakoue is one of the best young pass rushers in the game.
Yeah. If he gets his head right.
I could also see Gruden. It's a totally Gruden pick to go wide receiver here, too, for me, like us. After getting rid of Williams.
They could use a corner. Casey Horn's sitting there.
They could
use a safety. Trevin Moehrig is in there. I know. Oh, my gosh. You know what?
I think after signing Yannick, they've got to go secondary here.
Instead of O-line?
Yeah, because I don't see an O-lineman. No, the only O-lineman I like at this point in the draft at number 17 is Vera Tucker. And he can play guard or tackle. So I could easily see them going Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yeah. But, man, they do need...
Oakland's
a very needy team right now.
I can name some players in the secondary, but I couldn't tell you who's going to start on that line anymore. Outside of their left tackle, I have no clue who's going to play for them.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think Need might say they have to take Vera Tucker.
I kind of feel that way, but clearly they don't think that offensive line's a need.
Well, I don't care.
Because they just got rid of their offensive line.
Yeah, did this website even update it since they traded away everybody that blocks?
It does have needs tackle guard in there, so... I think Vera Tucker's probably a first rounder. It's a tiny bit early for him, but is it really?
As a Colts fan, I'm sad to see him leave the board right now. If he goes, I'd be upset.
Let's say that they're like, yes, we need people on our offensive line.
They have to. If they don't draft an offensive lineman, Derek Carr needs to retire before he dies.
Yeah, it has to be, right? But it's the Raiders.
I really am just lost as to what their goal is at all offensive line right now. So you got the Dolphins again. They already took Jamar Chase. They added a weapon for Tua. They were on the come up last year, and now here we sit at number 18.
I think they've got a little bit of a, what word am I trying to use?
Best player available situation, or
sort of, because I was gonna say, you want the best defensive tackle, according to some people, not others, but a good defensive tackle. Do you want the best safety available? Do you want a good cornerback?
I think they're deep at corner. They took a first rounder last year. They have Xavier Howard and Jones.
Too many.
No, but I think they have 3 or 4.
Do you want
you're not
to
taking a first rounder up that piece?
A right tackle, possibly.
No, I think they're going to build their young offensive line. I really do. They have Robert Hunt. They took Austin Jackson out of USC last year. They even have some youth in the middle of the line.
I think it's probably coming down to Barmore or maybe Moehrig then.
I didn't think about this before we got started, but man, I really like the safety addition for them.
Great.
They traded Minka away.
Done and done. Yeah, well, that's kind of what
Jones
I'm thinking.
Is playing pretty well.
They kind of
Jones and Mooring back there could really be something.
Even if they're doing well at corner, there is a Minka Fitzpatrick-sized hole back there still.
Yeah, and then Rashad Jones walked. They drafted Brandon Jones late from Texas, who I really like. And Jones and Mooring could become a good young tandem.
Great. Now it's Washington's turn.
Oh, they're not going to do anything. They got a killer D-line.
They can do anything. Their receivers are decent, so I don't think they go receiver.
I know who I like here.
You like JOK, I assume.
I do.
I was thinking that. I was trying to see who else, not get locked in on a guy.
They still need offensive line as well.
They do.
But I really think JOK is just the best player that fits a need at this point.
Great. Now we're back to the Giants, who have just stockpiled picks.
I like it.
And the Giants edge your offensive line and now feel a lot better at taking whoever they do at number 20.
Yeah, and right here, even if they skip offensive line and they take Kwity Paye, for instance, or even if they added to their corner room with J.C. Horn at 20, I think that's a good pick. To get him at 20 to give you the depth, like you said, you're going to be playing the Cowboys, who have 3 good receivers. You need 3 good corners. They only need 0 corners to guard Philadelphia, but
they'll need one after this year, after this year's draft.
Gregory Rousseau is an option here. And honestly, I think Rousseau fits the Giants. He reminds me a lot of like Jason Pierre-Paul coming out of college. And I almost wonder if they don't go back to something they know. Jalen Phillips should be climbing boards after his pro day. But man, I think Rousseau would be a solid option here. He's got the most upside out of all these edge rushers to me too. Like he's got the highest ceiling.
He does. I just don't. Yeah. I don't know which, of course, I guess the likelihood of the Giants trading back twice is probably pretty low.
Yeah, we've already broken.
Let's just go Gregory Rousseau. No, I meant, never mind. Colts, I defer to you.
Man.
Got a nice corner, got a defensive tackle you don't like, but who's pretty highly rated.
I like him. I just like somebody else more that I think you can get later on. The Colts need wide receivers. I mean, they just brought back Hilton, but he's aging.
Yeah.
Pittman, I think, has some potential. I don't know that they're willing to close the door on Paris Campbell yet. Paris Campbell has a lot of potential. He just hasn't stayed healthy. I really like Elijah Moore right here. I like Bateman, but I don't like him for them right here. I like more. I like more for who's picking.
You like the
slot. I wasn't going to take him.
Oh, no.
No. But I was going to say, but I think they are going to address their O-line and probably take Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State.
Shoot. I can't go back.
It's okay.
No, they're taking Elijah Moore.
It's funny. Tennessee's on the clock, and I think we know what they need to do.
Oh, God. Oh, God. They're both such big needs. I think if Horn falls to them, they go.
Well, now we're back on Minnesota.
So good. Well, who did you say that you thought they were going to take Tevin Jenkins? Your guys?
The Colts. Yeah, so I'm really high on Walker Little too.
I'll leave out Tevin Jenkins, and we'll pretend he went to the Colts.
Okay. I like Moore to the Colts too. They could do that. But honestly, in the end of the day, I'm assuming that Ballard probably trades back. He's just known for it as well.
So I know he's way down here on this board, apparently, but where's oh, my brain's not working. What's his name?
What position are you after?
Guard.
Wyatt Davis?
Yeah. I think he's still a potential first rounder.
Oh, he's a beast. He was right there. I saw him a second ago. You just
no, I saw him. I've got alignment up because
I got you.
There's no way after signing so many defensive starters, which again were needed, but it's O-line. There can't be.
I want to point out Walker Little on PFF is up there, and you know how I feel about him, and nobody else is talking about this guy.
Yeah, hey, sure, Pac-12.
Oh, he hasn't played for 2 years, but I mean, other than that, the guy's outstanding.
That's fine. So now we come to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has failed to trade up to get their quarterback in the future.
And they have some needs, in my opinion. Their offensive line is hurting.
O-line.
They're hurting at running back. They are hurting at corner, in my opinion, now. Nelson's requested a trade. They lost Hilton in free agency.
I always think, I think running back's deeper. I
My
think you
favorite
go
running
third.
back's a second rounder. So
I think you go third, fourth round, take a good running back, and you're fine. I like Radins a lot. Again, I would
we
say
can still
White.
take Jenkins. You can also
All
just
right,
plug in Jenkins there because the Colts did take more in this scenario.
sure.
Oh, now he's the
Jacksonville.
Jaguars. I think we
They're
both
back.
know what they're doing right off the top of the board there.
Yeah, more than likely. I just wanted to take a peek here. Maybe a tackle, an O tackle.
I like an offensive tackle to him as well, but not right here. I think Barmore's the better value.
Yeah. Hey, I always like to double check.
Here's an interesting one.
Cleveland.
What do you think?
Man. I think Bateman's a possibility. The wide
You like
receiver
wide
isn't.
receiver?
I mean, are they really that strong at wide receiver?
I like their wideouts. I like Higgins and Peoples Jones behind Beckham and Landry.
I mean, edge, if you just want to get silly and have obviously two, what you would hope, super edge rushers.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Kwity Paye or Jalen Phillips.
Give him Quiddy. He's the athlete.
He is almost like when you look at the athletic version of them. Phillips had a killer pro day, by the way. I don't know if you saw it. I took part in that when I watched that one. Paye is just like he is an athletic freak, a lot like Garrett. I'm not saying he produces like Garrett yet, but wow, the upside's there. And the Browns are pretty close to being like they're in the running for.
They are a real team.
Yeah, so I don't see them adding like a depth when they can add a game changer right here. Somebody that can actually help them win right now.
Now, Baltimore.
Yeah, this one's got me twisted.
Edge or receiver. Because even with Sammy Watkins signing,
number
one, Sammy Watkins' legs don't work for 16 games. So you got to get that into effect when you sign Sammy Watkins.
When I say Baltimore in my head, I say it's got to be edge receiver or corner, actually. They're deep at corner, but they love to add good depth pieces when they can get them. And they've got, Jimmy Smith's aging. Tavon Young's hurt a lot. But, man, I tell you what, after just the last couple weeks of reviewing things, they really need edge. And they like to run and play defense. And I wonder if Jalen Phillips is their guy. I know that they still need receivers for Lamar. But if they have a second rounder, I think they can still give them yet another depth piece to their receiving core.
So O or Phillips? You think it's Phillips?
Yeah, I don't like Owa at all. His physical ability, his measurables are amazing, but his production is literally 0 sacks.
I know, but he runs the 4.3 40, right?
I don't care if you run a 4.2 40 if you don't know who to tackle.
All right, we'll give him Phillips. The Saints are suddenly in need of a lot of players.
Yeah, they are.
They're in salary cap hell. They're getting rid of some of their receivers. I think Bateman's a definite strong possibility to them. We've got, good corner. We've got Asante Samuel Jr. Nick Bolton, maybe.
I'm not very high on Bolton, actually. I like the receiver here. That being said, they have Michael Thomas. Are they going to keep him or are they going to move on from him in the future because of his salary? What do you think?
I mean, I think they try and keep him, but if they do, again, they've got to lose other receiver pieces.
If they keep Thomas, I don't see them drafting Bateman or Marshall. I see a Tony fit. Peyton likes pieces he can move. He likes weapons. And I like Marshall and I like Bateman, but I think Tony's more versatile as a weapon.
Interesting.
They could also add a defensive end here.
I feel like their line's pretty solid.
Yeah, they just lost Trey Hendrickson to Cincinnati in free agency.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be losing a lot of people. They're in salary cap hell.
Literally purgatory.
You know what? Sure, Kadarius Toney.
I just feel like he's the most Sean Payton of the wide receivers.
It's Green Bay.
Oh my gosh,
I know
I
who they
really
should draft.
for Packers fans, I just pray that their front office pulls their head out of there. You know what? Because they did nothing to help Aaron Rodgers last year, and their team was solid.
Let's give Packers fans some hope.
I'm okay with it. They've got to do something for Aaron. I think
I
Aaron's already
hate the
2 feet
Packers.
out the door after that, but I think
Really
he's
seems like it, but yeah, let's give him a better all-around receiver than Toney.
Yeah, Bateman's a good fit. He could play opposite of Devontae Adams and give you reliable hands and do what you need to. And if Marquez Valdez Scantling can take it to another step and actually become more reliable, he's their field stretcher.
What do you think? Maybe a corner for the Bills? I'm thinking corner
I
or
think,
edge.
I
know you don't
corners
like Owa, but I think it's possible he goes first round.
I think corner's a need for them. I think they need to add some pass rush. But I wouldn't be surprised if they add an offensive lineman either. Who's the best corner available though? We'll go to just corner.
Probably Asante Samuel Jr.
But, according to you and this thing.
Well,
I really like
the Bills and what they're doing. According to this thing, it's Greg Newsome the second, but I guess it could be Newsome, though I don't.
Well, I'm high on Stokes. He's going to be further
Holland
down the board.
And Stokes, yeah. Well, I mean, he's in.
I could see Stokes going earlier with that 40 time and people starting to catch attention. I would like him across from Tre'Davious White. I like Samuel, but like you are higher on Samuel outside and I'm higher on the inside. And out of their corners, they have Levi Wallace and they have Teron Johnson. Teron Johnson's a pretty solid inside corner. He plays the slot pretty well. So I wonder if they wouldn't be going for more of an outside corner.
Even with the 4.25, though, you don't think they're somewhat confident they could get him, say, middle second round?
Stokes, they'd have to trade up. They'd have to trade up for him.
Well, I know.
Either trade they really need to put. In the end of the day, dude, they need to put pressure on the quarterback. They lost to the Chiefs when the Chiefs put pressure on, but they couldn't put pressure on the Chiefs. And I think here that they would go with whatever the pass rusher is available.
I think it's got to be Owa.
I like Basham.
I just think Owa goes first round.
You think he does?
Yep.
I think so. The reason I'm not saying necessarily Basham that I like him for me. I like him for the Bills because they're looking for somebody to step in and produce. But they also took Epineza last year, and he's kind of that bigger defensive end.
Yep.
So, Owa gives them possibly that explosive. I like it. Let's do it because Jerry Hughes is getting a little older, and Jerry Hughes was drafted by the Colts, by the way, with a little bit of question mark. And Owa could be the future behind Hughes. He's got to grow, but he's got some good people to teach him.
So the Chiefs, Radins, or another offensive tackle.
It's got to be Radins, Eichenberg,
Cosme.
Ooh, I like Cosme there.
I mean, it's an offensive tackle.
I think that the Chiefs are probably still going to bring back Eric Fisher, even though they released him on a discounted deal.
They might, but they still have
whoever they draft could play right tackle.
They still have a gaping need, at the other tackle. And again, we all saw what happened.
So I like Cosme. I think he's the most athletic of the bunch. He's pretty impressive on the film. He moves around. He's an athlete. And if you're going to move a guy to left tackle, you want the athlete.
Your Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Man,
Man,
I think we mocked them taking Dylan Radins last time to take over in the future. They just signed Donovan Smith to a 2-year deal.
what about Asante Samuel Jr.? I get that it's not the need, but you bring this Florida boy in. He's a good value. Do you? They're bringing back every single starter. So do you really have this? Like, are you thinking need, or are you thinking like,
Best
another?
player available type situation that's gonna
Yeah,
step in a year or two.
Samuel. I mean, gosh, they're
If
receivers.
that's the
They've got
case,
10 receivers.
I do like Samuel. Another guy that I'm looking at right now that I really like is Zaven Collins.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about him as an outside linebacker, but so my votes would be for either Zaven Collins or for Asante. I like Asante in their system more so than my I'm a fanboy of Stokes, but I like Samuel to them. They have
Or they
Sean
go
Murphy
like
Bunting. They have Carlton
Etienne.
Davis. Well, they have Murphy Bunting, Carlton Davis, and they have Dean, right? They're not going to be able to re-sign all three of them when the time's up. They're all going to become free agents about the same time. So Samuel gives you a continued roster turnover, gives you corners are there. Zaven
Which
Collins could take over inside or outside for like if when in a year or two when Levante David's gone or Jason Pierre-Paul's gone, Collins could play either or probably.
uh tough call. Who do you want?
Nope, it's on you. I just gave you my ideas.
Okay. Hometown boy, Florida.
I always like the idea of that.
And here we are to the second round, which I guess we could keep going, but I don't know.
I think we should for just a little bit.
All right, let's try and knock out the second round quicker. To
Okay.
Jacksonville.
They already added a quarterback and we added a defensive
Far
tackle,
more.
right?
Yeah. So with Radin still there, I think he becomes a very attractive option.
I like Radins or Walker Little. I think Radins will go before Little. And they're going to move on from Cam Robinson, I think, after this season.
Now the Jets, who have a quarterback and receiver.
And they still have needs everywhere.
Well, yes, but I mean, someone like Collins, Leatherwood. I mean, who can't they take? Etienne.
Man, they really need a running back. They really need a running back there. Bad.
You
I
know what?
love Javonte Williams, but he probably won't be
Travis
the first
Etienne.
running back off the board.
This is for you Jets fans draft. We are just adding playmakers and
Your offense is going to be stacked.
Let's, quarterback, receiver, running back. Check.
Yeah. The Falcons. Who did we give them originally? Pitts? We added Pitts.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. Pitts.
So they've got to go defense here in my eyes. They've got to add a pass rusher or another young defensive back. I really like Jamar Johnson's growing on me. I like Ronnie Perkins or Basham. Perkins is more of the pure pass rusher in my eyes. I like Perkins because aren't they going to switch over to a 3-4 under Arthur Smith?
Who knows?
We'll find out.
The Dolphins again.
Wow.
So many picks, Dolphins. So let's see. They got their stud wide receiver.
Jamar
and
Chase.
They got Morin. Maybe
maybe Landon Dickerson.
I was thinking maybe because he's not really on this list, but I think he's definitely going earlier, or well, not earlier, but
Humphrey.
Wyatt Davis.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be a solid pickup for them. Their line would be young and built for the future.
I don't know. He's too low on PFF. I don't know. I think Wyatt
I,
Davis is late first, early to maybe mid second, but
he's a beast.
I don't think he's fallen beyond mid second. So, the Eagles. So they got a receiver.
I think they almost have to go linebacker, corner. Newsom's still there. Nick Bolton's still there too. I'm not big on Bolton at all. I haven't even watched much film on Newsom, but I would draft him over Bolton.
All right. Sure. I don't know. Philly seems like they've got some issues. Clearly.
Yeah, they do. The Bengals, we added a tackle. We added Penny Sewell earlier. I still don't know why wide receivers a need on their board. Offensive line is still a need for them.
Which,
though.
again, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying, that they has listed as the number one need, but they have young playmaking receivers.
I'm okay with them double dipping on the offensive line and adding any of the available interior offensive linemen.
So that would be like the Dickerson or
Humphrey, Trey Smith. I'm even okay with them adding another tackle and putting Sewell on the left.
I just don't think they
another
would.
tackle and moving Jonah Williams to guard.
Yeah.
Jonah Williams would be a better guard.
Let's give him Dickerson.
Somebody to actually run the offensive line.
Panthers somehow ended up with a quarterback.
We gave him Mac, right? No, Lance. We gave them Trey Lance.
Possible receiver for sure. Maybe an edge.
There's two guys that I really like to them.
Who's that?
I like a safety to him. Jamar Johnson standing out in my eyes there. I like a couple safeties later on in this draft, though.
Mm-hmm.
I like a linebacker there to go alongside, like Jabril Cox, but I think Jabril Cox is a later pick. I don't take him yet. Maybe the Panthers traded back right here, unless they can add what they view as another playmaker at the receiver position. And I don't like Rondell Moore.
No, me neither. Terrence Marshall Jr.
I just don't know if he fits that. He's good. He's really good. But I don't know if he fits what they want out of their third receiver. Pull up just all wideouts real quick. My mind's blanking. I don't like Amon-Ra St. Brown to them. Ooh, I like Dyami Brown. He's pretty electric.
He is. Sure, let's mix it up.
And you're taking a Carolina boy in Carolina.
Love it. Denver, they got a corner. Nope.
No, it's a tackle. We took him Slater.
Slater. I couldn't remember.
I think. What do you think here?
Jeez. Maybe Zaven Collins. Maybe a Basham Jr.
Yeah, I think they really need a playmaker in the middle of that defense.
I feel like they took a nose tackle pretty recently that they don't. So
I'm not big on Bolton, but a lot of people are. Bolton would be a pick here. Collins possibly. Collins is a versatile piece. Bolton's more just your inside.
Missouri. He joins his quarterback.
Okay, now we have the Lions. They've got to take Terrence Marshall.
I mean, they could take anyone too.
Well,
I'd like to throw that out there.
The Chargers are on the clock again. They traded up and took a tackle in the first round.
Yeah, so they went tackle. I mean, they're
I like Basham, maybe.
Good. I think they want another edge guy.
They lost Ingram. Basham would be a good counterpart to Joey Bosa.
Great.
The Niners are on the clock.
So they obviously took their quarterback.
Do they just grab Leatherwood right there? Do they go safety? Their secondary's pretty depleted after free agency, but McGlinchey's underperformed. I think they've got a couple free agent guards.
I mean, Holland's here, your boy's here. There's a couple of good safeties here.
This is a hard pick for them. They have a lot of options. I kind of like Holland.
Holland.
Javon, yeah, right there. He can play corner and safety. He can fill them in for him in the slot with all the corners they lost. He can fill in for him in place of Jaquiski Tartt. Jimmy Ward's always hurt.
Now, Dallas, they took their corner. Though they could probably still use more. I mean, they could use safety help. Their secondary's depleted.
Yeah, they just signed DeMonte Kazee, but they lost Woods to, I believe, the Vikings, right?
Yep.
I like Jamar Johnson. I could see them adding an offensive lineman too. They've been pretty beat up there the last couple of years. Tyron Smith can't stay healthy.
I kind of like Molden just because he's a really good cover.
I like him too, but I almost think Richie Grant might be the most Dallas of the safeties. He hits. He can throw a hit. So can Paris Ford out of Pittsburgh.
Their secondary's garbage, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dallas. Jacksonville again.
They're just stacking them up.
Mm-hmm.
They added their tackle.
Tackle. So
we gave them Mooring, I believe, at safety earlier.
Yep. Freiermuth would be interesting. He's a pretty good tight end. I like him. Kind of a nothing flashy, but good all-arounder.
He fits an Urban Meyer mold tight end. Like Ohio State never has a superior athlete at tight end. They have something that can block and catch the ball. And Urban Meyer's running them now. I think that's a good fit.
The Pats.
Boy, I tell you, it's really hard for me not to give them Zaven Collins.
Yeah.
He's think like Ella the next McNeil Kyle Vanoy type guy.
McNeil's a possibility, too. We talked about their defense, their nose tackle.
He could take over for like the old Vince Wilfork role.
But sure, let's just give him Collins.
Well, Collins isn't an immediate need, though. McNeil kind of is.
Sure. But they'll take the, 10th ranked defensive tackle instead. Chargers. Let's see. So they took a tackle. They took a guard, right? No,
we gave
edge. Tackle and edge. How do the Chargers have so many picks? Did they trade back in our draft?
They traded up. No, we traded up from 13 to 11.
Oh, you're too generous. They should have been giving up more second rounders.
I wonder if we accidentally did the trade backwards.
No.
I got you. Man. I really like the Jabril Cox to them. But they need a corner.
And I was also thinking that.
He can cover. He can run. Him and Kenneth Murray together would be lights out fast at linebacker. Derwin James at safety. Like, they'd have a very versatile defense. But they could add a corner here, too.
Gosh.
The Raiders.
Who did we give to the crazy Raiders in the first round?
I don't remember anymore.
Tackle.
The guy I wanted the Colts to get.
Yep. You know who would take Rondell Moore?
Gruden for sure.
I mean, who should they take? A safety?
I think
they should probably take
for them.
Maybe a linebacker.
Yeah. What do you think about somebody like Molden? Like you said, working that secondary, he can play safety and slot corner.
I think he's a very good player, and that would make sense for him, which means they won't do it.
Yeah, he's like a perfect replacement for like LaMarcus Joyner.
Cardinals, they have their stud cornerback.
Oh man, I tell you what, I really want him to run up there and get Eric Stokes too.
I don't think they're taking corner.
Oh man, I always have wanted to see a team take two early corners and just grow them together and like be shut down. What do you think about Zaven Collins right there, or one of the tight ends available?
I
Zaven
think
Collins is
Collins.
another guy that can do all of it, and
Yeah,
like you said, that's the team that really likes that.
Arizona loves Swiss Army knife. The
Yeah.
Dolphins. We've had so many picks, it's hard to keep track of.
There's going to be a couple trades in this round too, because teams are falling in love with certain people, but it's hard to really mock trades in the second, third round.
Yeah, it definitely is. All right, so they've gone
Safety and
guard,
wideout.
safety, wideout. Edge, running back.
Boy, I really, really like Javonte Williams, but edge is a really big need too.
Too bad they took Javonte Williams.
It's okay. I love it. You're trying to get through this.
Well,
Washington took. Oh man,
I think they went defense. Oops.
did we give them Jock?
Yeah, JOK. Yep.
I might be way off on this, but tell me what you think. What about going quarterback? You probably just need to type in quarterback.
Trask.
I like Mond. Ron Rivera is from that Cam Newton mold. Mond can run it. He can option.
You know what?
And it might be a reach according to this, but I really love him to Washington.
Chicago, who traded up in the first for quarterback.
They've got some issues on their line.
They definitely do. Leatherwood.
I like Leatherwood, Carmen, and Eichenberg, so it's kind of just whichever one you like the most. I think Carmen and Leatherwood offer more versatility. They can both probably play guard and.
And the Titans. Now, let me see. They took a corner in the first.
I think we gave him J.C. Horn because he fell.
Yep. Oh, they can't take Rondell Moore.
They signed Dupree, but I mean, they could still use some edge. They need a wideout.
They desperately need a wideout.
Ah, man, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown for their system.
You know what?
It's probably down a little ways.
This is what they might do instead of what they should do. So, sorry, Titans. You made a bad pick, but you took Rondell Moore.
And in this scenario, we ended up giving the Colts Elijah Moore. So show me on the screen the best edge rushers available.
Colts, sorry, I was just making sure.
Oh, I remembered.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. The accidental second round pick.
Scroll down. Man. So this is what we think they're going to do, not what I want them to do, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, then I think they need to go back and take an offensive lineman, and they take Carmen or Eichenberger. Or Eichenberg. Sorry, I think I added an er.
You choose, since they're your team.
I like Carmen's versatility. Is Walker Little still available? Yes, he is, isn't he? Or did we give him to somebody? We must have given him to somebody. Just go tackle. Oh.
Yeah, he went somewhere.
Oh, man.
I think he went to the Vikings in the first round.
I really like him a lot.
Yep, there's Walker Little.
And so pull up all tackles really quick for me because I like a couple guys, but I'm trying to remember. My mind's just drawing a blank. They're not taking a tackle yet. They're going to take Joseph Asai out of Texas.
Okay.
My tackle that I like, they can get next round.
Pittsburgh. Possible landing spot for Trask.
Who did we mock them in the first round? We didn't give him a running back.
We gave him O-line.
You have a way better memory than me.
Tevin Jenkins.
Okay.
So they could go interior offensive line or quarterback is my thoughts.
They signed Haskins. Do they see anything in him? I don't know. So maybe they go O-line. They could be in love with Harris. And they also lost Hayward, if I remember right. Carmen's a good fit there. He can play tackle or guard.
Great.
I like him. I like versatility when you talk about linemen in today's NFL.
The Seahawks up for their first pick of the draft.
I think if they don't draft somebody to help protect Russell Wilson's going to throw the football at Pete Carroll.
I think he might do that anyways. Eichenberg?
Yeah, because I don't want him to take who I want the Colts to get later on.
Who, the center?
No, actually, no. I'm big on somebody the Colts a little bit later on. We got the Rams.
Rams, this is their first pick too, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've got a few needs as well.
They are in win now mode.
Yeah, so I feel like
who is going to help them the most immediately?
I think they draft a corner.
You think they go with Tyson Campbell?
Or an interior offensive lineman.
Not Campbell. Do you think they go with
my boy?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they do. He doesn't have that. I really like him, but I don't think he's as physical or as tough as he needs to be to play alongside Ramsey yet. But they also lost some linemen. They could add a center or a guard here. I like Creed Humphrey to them.
Where is Creed? There
right
he
there.
is.
They just lost Austin Blythe to Kansas City.
So win now.
The Ravens took Jalen. Yeah.
They took the edge.
They took Phillips, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
We said they needed to add a wide receiver later. There's a lot of wideouts still available right here. I think we didn't take. We didn't draft my guy yet. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot. They want wide receivers that can block, and that guy can block.
Sure.
I like that. That's a good fit for their system.
Back to the Browns.
Who took an edge? Pay?
I don't know. Maybe secondary, maybe linebacker. They've already got 2 running backs. Maybe interior offensive line.
I feel like they're in win now mode as well.
They did just make the playoffs and win a playoff game.
Giving them another corner could be, like you said, you always need more corners. Greedy Williams hasn't stayed healthy. They signed Troy Hill. It would give them yet another option at the corner position. They signed Johnson. Their safeties are looking pretty solid. I think they could go with a linebacker too. They don't have a whole lot of great linebackers here. Or they could go best defensive tackle available to give some push on the inside, which for me would be Jalen Twyman, but on most people's boards, probably Davion Nixon.
I know so Twyman isn't on this.
At all?
Yeah, he's not on PFFs.
Oh, well, he's ranked like 155 on their top 300 board.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, if you just type in the top 300, he's been there. But they would probably take, I think Davion Nixon's a good fit. Oh, he's right there. 163. That's my guy. But Nixon will
Which I
probably
don't
go
agree
before
with or disagree with. Sorry.
him. You don't disagree with me or them?
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
I got you.
Yeah,
Marvin Wilson
where
is
is
intriguing.
Nixon's way too low.
I think might be a good pick right there.
Yeah. Okay, the Saints. Who did they end up going with? Tony.
The Peyton type move.
So offense first round, probably look to D here. Maybe an Aaron Robinson, maybe your guy.
Didn't Lattimore just get in some trouble?
I'm not sure, to be honest. If professional athletes get in trouble, though, do they really get in trouble? I mean, are there really any consequences? Is Stokes a Saints type player?
Yeah, I think he could play a lot of places. Yes, Lattimore. They're taking a corner, in my opinion. Here, I remember Lattimore just got charged with a felony.
Oh, real trouble. It's hard to
Yeah,
keep up.
between him and Claypool, it's keeping the feed busy lately.
The Bills.
They took Owe.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wish Stokes was available now because I like the Bills. Aaron Robinson would be a good fit here. I could see them drafting interior offensive line because they just, they need depth always there. But you know what I think I would really love to see him do is take Brevin Jordan out of Miami.
Yep, familiar.
I think that's another weapon for Josh Allen. He can line up at the H-back and play out of the backfield. He can line up in the slot. It just gives them a lot they can move around.
Now the Packers, they actually drafted a receiver.
Yeah. They've got some O-line needs now as well. They let Lindsley walk at center.
I was gonna... you know what? Small school guy out of Wisconsin.
Who can maul.
He's a Wisconsin boy, of course. He's probably a serial killer.
I'm okay with that. Ray Lewis got away with it.
He only killed,
like
how many
people.
guys? I guess that is serial. And actually, he didn't. He watched his friends did it, and it was his fault, but he didn't actually do the deed himself.
He's a killer linebacker. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
The Chiefs took a lineman already. Is he a tackle, right?
Yeah. Gotta have a tackle there. Even if Fisher comes back, you gotta have a tackle. I mean, they could use a little more pressure. They could use an edge. I think they could use they could use another offensive lineman, in my opinion. I just don't know if they go O-line.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I still think they just bring somebody else in. They could
but I mean, like, corner. It could be interior.
Yeah, I think their interior is pretty solid. I mean, they just signed Tooney. They have Tardif. They signed Long.
Oh yeah,
who could play guard and tackle.
Oh, it's tough to keep up with this. I'll tell you, or Darius Washington.
You think they'll take a safety A to go with Matthew and Thornhill?
Well, he's a guy who can go safety slot corner, is my thinking.
Yeah, if he was 2 inches taller, he'd be going for sure, but he's really small.
Nothing wrong with being short.
Jamar Johnson doesn't fit there. Like, Thornhill's already there.
Interior offensive line?
I was thinking about it to go alongside Chris Jones. They lost...
or defensive line. I said offensive line, but you knew what I meant.
They lost...
probably Kyle Trask.
Marvin Wilson might be a good fit there. They also aren't afraid to take guys who have questionable character.
That is true.
And he's,
And the
they
Bucks.
question, a lot of people question his motor.
Who the Bucks took? They took a corner in the first, didn't they?
I'm pretty sure we gave him a corner, yes.
Yeah, Asante Samuel Jr.
Okay. So now, one of the guys that is big on a lot of people's boards that I haven't really gotten to watch too much of yet, but might be a really good fit for them, is Jamin Davis as well.
Yeah.
But they could also be interested in a guy like Trask to take over for Brady in a year or two.
They could. But Trask is a little questionable.
We love our state-to-state transfers.
We do, but, I think they stick. I think they do the one thing and just say, linebacker, you can contribute this year. Trask isn't contributing this year. Let's put it all on the table while Tom Brady feels like playing quarterback for us. And when he's gone. But guess what? We got at least one ring.
With Levante David there, they have a couple years to break Davis in. He's got a lot of abilities, fast. He's got good instincts. He could become a pretty solid interior linebacker for him in the future, and him and Devin White could be lights out.
Ooh, into the third round, man.
I don't think we need to do that.
Okay, let me just see where we've got the my boys. So we've got them real early, and then they've got two more in the third. So for the Vikings, my projection for the third round, Vikings. Oh God, will Mike Zimmer take a 5'8" safety? It's not a corner. One of the safeties to the Vikings early in the third. They need a starting safety, and then we're going down a few. I mean, I'd love it if Kendrick Green fell to them. They need. I like
Green.
They need to take offensive line, safety, offensive line. So there's two, and then for their last one, Joe Tryon as the edge rusher, because Mike Zimmer will force them to take at least one defense or one D lineman.
Well, then the Colts want Brady Christensen out of BYU.
Ah, very nice.
He is super athletic, and nobody knows it. And when you're looking for a left tackle that you can groom, you want that guy who's athletic enough to stay with the speed rushers. He's super athletic, and you would never guess it. And I would like him to be a building block of the future there alongside Quentin Nelson. And let's be honest, when you got Quentin Nelson next to you, you don't have to worry about much other than just your guy.
True. And the Raiders take Kyle Trask with one of their third rounders.
I like it. You have a good night, brother.
All right. Yeah, we'll sign off here from the mock draft, and let's get this recording shut down.